for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 6+ years in the games media combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services including Spotify and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to join in future conversations, check out all our socials, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, Twitter. All the links are in the description below.
If you want to join us as the conversation happens, you head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and help contribute to the show. Additionally, you may also hear Max and I sing the Bee Gees before we go live. That's always a good bit of fun. If you want, you can also share the conversation. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. And if you want to, you can give your podcast server choice. Be sure to give it a 5-star rating, a written review, or if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to give a thumbs up, like, comment, and all that crap. Subscribe, all those things. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist. You also go to our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Now, Max, you don't see this right now because we're recording. You won't see this. This is a post-production thing. But we have a new intro, ladies and gentlemen, after 164 episodes. The one that I made in about 25 minutes in literally 2018 has been replaced. It has been upgraded. There are two that we have the option for. There is one that has been made by a friend of mine, a man-shake man by the name of Lloyd. Delicate Stone on YouTube. He's a beautiful singer, songbird of the generation, he's been called. He's fantastic. So he put one together for us. And our good friend Dash is also putting one together as well. I haven't seen the final product of his yet, so I'm unsure which one we're going with. It's fucking rolling the dice right now, and I can't wait to see it. It's been a long time since it's been remixed. Max, you excited? Because this is we're heading into the next gen. We might as well get a refresh ourselves. It's good. It's exciting.
Sony's rebranding their catchphrase. We need to rebrand ours now to.
That's right. We have to just we have to go on to the next trademark. We can't. Can no longer hang on this one.
New co-host.
Oh shit! Is that me? I'm out. I'm out. New one's in. It comes the Max and someone else show. How you been, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah. Not too bad. I'm slightly blinded by this bloody light.
Yeah, so
I'm getting some horrendous glare on my glasses actually.
Once again, yeah, we are back. We are back
in lockdown.
Back in lockdown. So for those that are not playing at home, Victoria here in Australia is fucked. And the hard rules came in. No visitors. All masks must be worn past Monday. Yeah, it's gone fucking hard. So that,
but the main thing is we can still go to the pub with our mates.
Yeah, you can't see each other at home.
You just can't bring them back to your place afterwards.
Yeah, just bang elsewhere. Don't bang. If you do go out and about, don't bang them there. Don't bring it home. That's how it works. Men, women, whoever you want. Just don't do it home. Do it out in the wild. What have you been up to, man?
Makes no sense. Not much, man.
Yeah?
Not much. It's been a pretty cruisy week.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a low-key week, so I'm on leave now. I finally got some time off, so from as of yesterday until this time next week, I have a full week off work. I'm very excited. It's just as lockdown hit, so it's kind of like this, woo, I guess.
Gonna finish Ghost of Tsushima now?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've spent a little bit of time with it, but yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I already started. I just pulled apart the garage today, doing that old man, stuff. Just being an old man around the house, doing things. Yeah, that was cool. Clean up my fucking house. My house is disgusting. There are still things in boxes from when we moved in here 5 years ago. And it's about time that I did something with it.
Are you still in that stage of you're unsure that it's yours and you're just waiting for someone to come and kick you out of it? So you're like, I'm just not going to unpack yet?
No, it's...
Just in case?
No, the problem that we had, fun fact, because we moved into this place, and then when we designed the place and when we moved in, we didn't allow for a kid. so we didn't really put enough storage in the space to begin with. So
what you're telling me is your house was spotless until James came along?
Oh, not even close. So there's a step before that. So we moved in. The house was pretty tidy, right? Pretty fucking tidy. Then our good friend of the show, Dylan, and obviously co-founder of the Pop Culturist, he was like, everything just shat on me. I have nowhere to live. I'm like, well, this room's a studio. That room's an office. That room's a storage room. All right, we'll move the storage room around. So we take everything that was being stored in that room, because we'd only lived here 3 months at that point. So we moved everything into another room. Then Dylan came and lived in that room. So we never sorted out those boxes because we didn't really have space to do so. Then James was born. So Dylan got kicked out. James took over the room, and we still haven't dealt with the boxes yet. And then, of course, having a kid means more stuff comes into the house, less stuff leaving. It's just built up over time. So I'm gonna take some time this week, just to like properly get in here, and like it feels good, like moving the garage around, getting all that going, just kind of like get that good, good feels as you sort of shuffle about and redo things. It's been good, and I'll get some games in as well. Max, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing some more Fairy Tail now that I've got. Just hit credits earlier this week.
Yeah, so if everyone played at home, Turn Left
check out our
Distribution provided us a code for Turn Left they provided us a code for Fairy Tail. I went, I don't fucking want it, so I gave it to Max, and Max has been spending the last week and a half, 2 weeks with
You're
it.
frozen too, by the way.
I'm frozen. Oh, god dang it. Yeah, let me just press this button and then I come back. So yeah, so Max has been spending the last 1.5, 2 weeks with it. So it is a separate review. It is on the YouTube channel. Go and check it out. Give it some love. Max's first ever solo review. And then additionally, if you want more Max, and if you want more Max talking about Fairy Tail, go to dashgamer.com. He went over there and lended his voice talents to Dash for their review of Fairy Tail.
So yeah, I've still been playing that. I've been chipping away at the epilogue, so after you actually see credits, there's more game.
Yeah. How long's this fucking game?
I'm currently sitting at 50 hours playtime.
Ooh. There's so much game.
I dove back into Ghost of Tsushima for a bit. And I've been checking out Grounded.
Oh yeah, that's the new Obsidian game, yeah?
Yeah, because that's the game preview has been released on Games Pass.
Before we
trying that out.
Before we kick in the gear, we are on Twitch, by the way, as ever, so we did record this show live. Big thank you to Screamus for coming across with the host, bringing us a lovely 7 viewers. Thank you very much, Screamus. Much appreciated. Hi, everyone. It's a PlayStation Podcast.
What's going on? So apart from that, not too much. What about yourself? What have you been playing this week?
Mine's varied. It's a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima as well. Just sort of trying to push a little bit more on that. I'm right on the cusp of Act 1 to 2. So I've done all the missions. I think this is where I was at last week. I really haven't played this much this week. So I'm right on the cusp of doing that mission to get me across the line, but I just kind of got bored with it, so I bounced out. So instead, I picked up some new games this week. I picked up Cuphead, because it is back. Well, it's not back. It's now on PS4. I had such a blast with it back on Xbox. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get it again. So I picked that up, and I have been yelling and screaming in my Xbox for the last 24 hours. The game is really, really good. But what I did have to do, though, is because I was originally playing it on the standard DualShock, and these directional pads are bumhole. I went and pulled out the Thrustmaster. Yeah, that sounds hot. So I pulled the Thrustmaster out to sort of get that nice little tactile, clicky, directional buttons for the game. And honestly, it's actually, I'm better at the game with that controller. I don't know how that works. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'm not as angry at it today, but yesterday I was fuming. So I'm still in the first little region. I've taken out the flower one. I've done the boat one with the 2 frogs. Done the mausoleum, the couple of the running gun levels. The game's brilliant. The game's fucking fantastic. Yeah. And it's so gnarly that it's now on the PlayStation 4. It's been, an Xbox Microsoft exclusive for 2 years? 3 years?
Yeah, I think about that.
So it's interesting that it's coming across, because the one thing we were debating last week, Max, was around the idea of the Xbox event and how there is no exclusives anymore, even though that presentation was fucking full of them. The big difference here is I think this could be the stepping stone in that in that direction where they're backing up that statement. Because after that presentation, it's like, well, what the hell? Like Phil Spencer just said a bunch of things, but what we're seeing here doesn't match that. And maybe this is a step in that right direction, or this could be, MKB, whatever the company name is that makes Cuphead. Maybe they're like, we've seen all the dollars over there. Let's jump across to PlayStation and see what we can get now.
Makes sense.
Additionally, I have also been playing SkaterXL. I did pick that up on Wednesday when it came out. SkaterXL is semi like a spiritual successor to Skate in some ways, but some ways not. It is a sandbox skateboarding game. So there's no story mode, there's no career, there's no challenges per se. It is essentially just a big a map with a bit of free for all in there.
Does it give you like a? Because I haven't played it. I haven't watched any videos on it either. Does it give you like a score meter so you can like, if you do a line, for instance, somewhere in the open world, will it give you a like? Will it give you an arbitrary score? So if you try and do it again, you can try and one up yourself.
No, it's probably the closest replicant to in real life skateboarding. I say that in it's all about the run. It's not about how many points you get. It's just about the run itself. So, and it's also about looking at an object and tackling an object. So you see a set of stairs with a rail and you're like, all right, I'm going to try kickflip off it. Beautiful. All right, now I'm going to try varial kickflip off it. All right, nice. Now I'm going to, 180 kickflip off it. So it's all about you create the spot and then you run that spot as many ways as you do until you can kind of hit your limit. And that's what real skateboarding is about in the same way, right? So like you see us, back in my day when I was much thinner and a skateboarder, you would like, well, I have this ledge and how many different ways can I skate this ledge? So it's the same kind of concept. So go ahead. Sorry.
Do you think it will have longevity if there's no goal per se to reach towards?
That's the thing. So with the game itself, it is there is a video editing software, a piece of software in there. It's not very good. Like I had a lot of trouble sort of dinking with it, but I think that's where it kind of would sit. It's this idea that, you do your run, you post on the socials, you share it and whatever. However, the game doesn't quite appear to have the level of polish that would make wanting to share it across socials really good. I mean that as in, it looks fine and like the control scheme is fine. We'll get to that in just a sec, but like overall, its presentation isn't like like right now, Ghost of Tsushima is just flooding your social media with these awesome, beautiful, wonderful photos. You ain't seen that with SkaterXL. You are getting kind of what you'd expect. It looks cool, it looks fine, but it's still it's fine. But if you know skateboarding and you know tricks, the difficulty of tricks and how to string them together, that is where you will get that sort of appreciation. So like the idea of like, if you come in and you're trying to do like a nollie hard flip into a feeble grind and then kick flip out, like that's going to be hard in real life, fucking near impossible. And it's also very difficult in the game as well. So like if you've got that background in skateboarding and you have that interest in skateboarding, you're like, oh no, that was actually pretty difficult to pull off, especially with the controls. So compared to Skate, so Skate was all about using the thumbstick as like to control the skateboard. That is what they've done here as well, but they've amped it up a notch. So previously it was just the right stick on Skate, and that would be allowed to swoop and swift, do whatever you need to do, like kick it in each direction. Where here you're using your left foot is your left stick, your right foot is your right stick, and you use the L2 and R2 paddles to turn. Which is, it's very much a lot of this going on, you know what I mean? Like just to sort of so I pat my head and rub my stomach, to sort of like get the momentum. It's actually it's frustrating. But the second you start working it out is when you can start really pulling off some fun. So the game literally drops you in a school. It's like, hey, here you go, you're in a school. Have fun. So there is a tutorial that gives you a vague understanding of the controls, and then there are a series of challenges. But the challenges themselves, they call it challenges, but they're essentially an advanced tutorial. So it's like, okay, do a kickflip over this gap. All right, cool. Now do a nollie kickflip over this gap. All right, cool. Now you've learned how to do nollie and regular and nollie variants. Cool. Now you're going to add some spins to it. All right, cool. Now you're going to add some spins and a flip trick. Now you're going to add grabs. Now you're going to add manuals and reverts. And it's like it keeps layering upon itself in that challenge space. So although you're ticking stuff off a list, it's not quite the same, if that makes sense. It's not
how big of how big of a world, how big is your sandbox that you get to play in? Like, are there points where you can just fast travel points where you can be like, okay, I'm at the school now. I want to go to the warehouse district, or I want to go to this area.
As of right now, from what I've played, there is just the school. There is school and like a car park and a little bit of like bleachers sort of area, and you're stuck within this one spot. Now, in terms of free movement, you can press triangle at any point, and you just go into like a helicopter view, and you can pick where you want to go, literally wherever.
Okay.
So you're like, all right, well, I'm done this spot. So rather than having to skate there, set up the spot and do it, which you can do at any point as well. Be like, all right, zoom up. Like, all right, I want to see if I can go from that roof to that bank. So you zoom out, jump on the roof, you plonk your point where you want, and you keep doing it until you get it the way you want.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's certainly cool. Like, I've seen the comparison to Session, which I haven't played, so I'm not quite sure on that one. There is a steep learning curve here, and unless you interested enough to master that difficulty curve, the game will not have legs. You know what I mean? Unless they start bringing in new locations and sort of, even new customization, right? So there is a customizable skater that is you, but it's very minimal. There's 3, I presume, 4 pros. I don't know who they were. And then you have a female and a male character. Now, they do have brands, so they have like Element and Blind and DC and Independent, like some of the bigger skateboard brands. But you only have like 2 shirts of each, 2 pants, 2 trucks, couple of decks. So it really feels like you've just gone into DFO. You've gone into like a factory outlet, and this is the range of what's left over from these skate brands. Like, it doesn't feel as in depth and as strong as, say, you would see in a Skate or a Tony Hawk, because the brand's 100% committed to that product.
Yeah.
Where like this is a relatively AA game, so it's not going to have that level of polish, that level of money, that level of backing that we would have seen from Skate or even the upcoming Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster, right? So there is that understanding that there's only so much they can do with what they've got. And for that, it delivers. And it delivers a completely unique experience, mostly because of the control of the controls, right? Where, where like if it was just a straight up more Session or straight up more Skate, sorry, it's like, well, it's just Skate. Skate's 4's coming. Why would I buy this if Skate 4's allegedly around the corner? With Tony Hawk around the corner, like, what's the same thing as Tony Hawk? So what they've done is they've taken the what Skate 1 to 3 laid down and added.
Yeah.
So it actually does feel like a genuine improvement comparatively, but it is not for everyone. And it's for that reason I do feel it's a little overpriced. It is cheaper on the PSN than it is in person. I think JB and EB Games sell for like $69-$70, where if you buy it on the PSN, it's $55. So there is a substantial difference for getting it digitally. I think that's because they know you can't return it.
Fair enough.
The price you're willing to pay, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so before we jump into the news section of the show, I should always do this. This is the Ryan Get Less Fat update. For anyone that's new here and may not know, I am currently on a weight loss journey. I've been doing it since 2nd of January. In that time, I have lost, as of today, 21 and a bit kilos. So that's a nice kilo and from last week. So, man, by the time I go to get my 20 kilo tattoo, Max, I might be like 23 kilos deep at this point. You know what I mean? It's going to be like pushing past that original goal.
So have you thought about, I know I asked you last week and you still weren't sure what you were getting. Have you, over the past week, have you thought about a bit more? Has the one spoken to you more than the other?
I have decided. Decision has been made, but I'll keep it secret. I want to keep that. I'm doing a bit of a reveal, but that will.
I'm doing a bit of a reveal. Well, that's just
no.
yes.
No, the honest answer is no. I don't know. I'm gonna try. I imagine he's gonna call me before I go in about which one do you want. I'm like, that one. So I've got 2 in mind, and they've both been put through to the tattoo artist as we discussed, and then we'll go from there. I'm pretty excited and nervous, like as I approach the date, because it's still like a week and 2 weeks away, just because of whatever. I am feeling the anxiety coming up. Like, it's weird. It's not like I have a fear of commitment. Like, I have a fucking wife. I have a mortgage. I have a kid. Like, I'm committed up the butthole. But I don't know. It just seems so permanent. It's the whole point, right?
I mean, they can be removed these days.
That's true. I can't laser remove my child. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, you definitely can laser remove your child. You shouldn't. But like,
yeah, that's very, very true.
It's not impossible.
That's true. But yeah, so 21 and a bit kilos is pretty sweet. I'm halfway from my goal. My goal was to try get around 40 kilos by the end of the year, or as close to by the end of the year, or PAX originally, but that PAX ain't happening. So now it's Christmas. Christmas is my goal. I want to be as thin as possible for Christmas. So when I go get my photo with Santa, I'm like, haha, you're the only fat one now.
I thought you're not just making like heaps of room for Christmas lunch.
Oh,
you've just started early. You're like, you finished Christmas lunch last year, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna start saving room now.
That's right. I'm excited for. Well, that's the thing. So if by then it's ultimate cheat day, says Dash in the chat. I'm gonna go so fucking hard at Christmas because roast food is my shit. You know what I mean? Like roast potatoes, like as carb load that motherfucker. Like, I mean,
so I should stop taking photos of my roasts that I make.
No, please do, because I'm like, oh yeah. Dash asks, what's in the shake? Because yes, so I'm running late today, so I'm drinking my man shake as I do the show. Once again, I did it quickly, so it is a caramel and chocolate, 1 scoop each. Good stuff. Are you still going on the shakes, Max?
Yeah, I had caramel coffee for breakfast this morning.
Oh yeah. How are you going with the weight?
So
we come out how fucking less fat I'm getting. How less fat are you getting?
Honestly, I don't know. I still haven't bought scales.
Nice.
But yeah.
Hashtag not a Dash says hashtag not a sponsor, but I'm very open to it.
I complained to Ali today because I nearly lost my pants in public.
No, that's totally true.
I was like carrying something in each hand. I'm like, uh oh.
But
like walking as if I was.
100%
start
a good
walking
sign.
as if you're riding a horse.
Like this morning, I went to put on like a shirt, and because it was too big, it felt fucking dumb. I'm like, all right, I can't wear this shirt, so I'm just gonna go to the DV. But yeah, I am at that point where I'm like, I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of new clothes. So all my wrestling shirts are fucking useless now. All my old PopC shirts are useless now.
Hey, you gotta tie them up at the back and make like a little
boob tube. Tied up the front, just because that's my other part of my goal. I don't know if I've ever communicated this, but one of my other goals for the weight loss is I want to be at a point where I can just whip my shirt off on a Tuesday and everyone's like, oh, okay. I'm not like, bam, and I was like, oh, what the fuck you doing? I want to become one of those guys that just like whips their shirt off all the time just because you can. Anyways, that is enough of that. Let's get into Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Max, what do we got?
Oh, let's kick off with the big news. Let's talk PS5 stuff.
Yeah.
So once again,
following up from last week.
Jeez. The internet is at it again. Rumors are kicking up once more about an impending Sony event. Coming from Iron Man PS5 on Twitter, we are getting the event on the 6th of August.
So doubling down on the date that we heard about last week.
Now, he's quite mad because everyone's been giving him grief over you told us pre-orders were going live and they didn't. So he's really doubling down on his date this time.
Yeah, he's just being wrong consistently. I don't believe this.
Jeff Grubb also on Twitter suggesting the event will take place somewhere between the 5th and the 11th of August. And on the latest Kinda Funny Games cast, host Imran Khan also said that he's, quote, heard both Sony and Microsoft have to talk about pricing and availability this month.
Yeah, it's I'm going to say it's be pushing the 10th or the 11th because it's like the 1st of August as of right now and they've not said anything. I think they'll have to give it at least a week headroom, right?
I mean, we're in the 8th month. We're expecting these consoles to drop
in
the
November.
10th or
3
11th,
months,
yeah, either October, November. They're cutting it very fine.
It's like unreasonable. Like, I understand they're doing this little like hesitation battle between Microsoft and Sony. They're like, well, who's willing to pull it out first? But
no one wants to whip it out first. Yeah.
no, like everyone's shy, and I don't know. Like, I understand why, but like this is a concern for a number of reasons. As we discussed last week, it's money. Not everyone's going to be able to get $600 presumably in the next 2 months, 3 months. Like, that's a big call, and there's only a couple ways this is going to go. Either because without pre-orders right now, we cannot clearly define what the interest is, and we can't even really, like plan. Like, I go, well, I want one. How much money do I need to have aside? And unless my hesitation, Max, is for two things. Either A, they know that it's going to be fucking close in terms of the pricing, so they are just waiting. The second that someone flinches, then they're like, you're undercut. Now it's cheaper. Or they're so fucking expensive, they're scared. That's the two options. What do you reckon it's going to be?
I'm the same. I think they're both holding off because they know that whoever announces first is the second player is going to undercut. So, it's always hard to show all your cards.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. But the good news is, although we still don't have a release date, and Sony continue to tell us that they are definitely launching by the end of 2020, production seems to still be on track with AMD, the manufacturer behind the PS5 CPU and custom GPU. They have confirmed that shipment of the components has begun.
Yeah, shout out to AMD for confirmation,
So the main thing is, at least we know they're getting made.
Well, we've been seeing a lot of like photos from the factories in Japan.
I believe the face plates are now out in the wild.
Yeah, which apparently are removable, which is great because we can take them off, get them painted, and put them back on. So shout out to Ethan when we're hitting you up. But yeah, like we've seen them. We saw some dude holding it. It was like 8 feet tall. Either he's a really small person or the PlayStation's ginormous.
But it's interesting that you mentioned about the popularity of the PS5. We don't know how many people are actually going to want it. And there's been some research, as reported by MCV, which is a UK-based website. A wide-ranging survey, I can't speak today, wide-ranging survey has been done by an agency called Experience 12, which suggests that the PS5 is currently winning the popularity battle of the next-gen consoles. Now, this is a fairly smallish sample size, so over 3,000 people were surveyed at MCM's Comic-Con online event at the end of June, with 84% of those participants saying that they were more excited for Sony's console. So
this is what's interesting. So as I said, like without pre-orders, we don't know what the exact interest on the console is. Now, PlayStation have come out many times saying that they doubled, or was it doubled their production because of online interest. The only thing I can, because I know that there is the expression of interest, which you can do at EB Games and JB Hi-Fi, as well as a bunch of websites. I have a feeling that's what they're using for pre-orders, right? Because like that can't just be locally. Like the fact that all of those companies posted this expression of interest on the same day leads me to believe that this is Sony going, look, we can't pre-order, but we need to know numbers. Can you create this expression of interest thing, and we'll go off that, so we know how many we need to allocate to your store, etc. So obviously there's a good lot of numbers, because I don't even think Xbox has an expression of interest, does it?
I think so. I'm not sure. I haven't used it if they do, but
me either.
I think so. I would imagine so.
Yeah. It's a very tough space because I'm so impatient, and yes, we're in the 8th month. They have literally 30 days. If nothing happens in the next 30 days, then there's going to be a massive concern. Like I think that if we don't hear anything by the end of this month, it's coming out in 2021. That's where it's going to be at. There is no way they can reasonably market, release, and get a sufficient number of pre-orders and stock in store within 2 months.
Well, see,
I'm not a businessman. But I don't know how that's doable.
Well, see, part of me agrees with you, and part of me is like, well, we've known that they're coming. We knew that this year was going to be the next-gen console. True. I've been saving since last year. It's not like, pre-orders are out now, I better start saving. We knew they were coming. I would imagine most of the people who want them have probably already organised and put away something to secure what they need.
Yeah.
Like,
we also
no
didn't plan for a pandemic either, so money's always tight.
You mean no one really, on a whim drops $600 dues on a new console that they didn't know was coming. So
yeah,
no, yeah, you're right. We didn't foresee a pandemic hitting and trashing the economy and
so
whatnot.
my kid just broke in.
That's always, you've got to take it as it is.
Yeah. One thing we may not have seen coming, Max, is EA and their interest in possibly picking up Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers gaming division, which does include developers such as Rocksteady, who are best known for the Arkham series, and NetherRealm for Mortal Kombat and Injustice, as we know, is up for sale. Though this was announced a little bit while ago when I want to say AT&T. It was AT&T.
Yeah.
Yep. They excuse me, we want to sell off our Warner Brothers gaming division. It's not doing things. Apparently, it's a big old money sink for them. So currently, they're selling it for an estimated $4 billion. So the rumor mill has been the likes of Microsoft and Activision and Take-Two have all allegedly been sniffing around, but it appears that EA are the ones that have made the first move here. So during the last company's financial call, CFO Blake Jorgensen has hinted that the acquisition could be under serious consideration. When asked about snapping up in the studios with the question suggesting, quote, a big asset, end quote, like Warner Brothers, the gaming division, Jorgensen says that EA is, quote, more interested than ever, end quote, in acquiring new talent. Max, what do you think about EA jumping on all this IP? Excuse me.
I'm not overly a fan. EA have a tendency to not look after their IPs. I mean, look at
Maxis,
the Star Wars games.
But just look at everyone that's been this EA is straight up murdered. So the big two that I can think of is obviously Visceral and Maxis, which were guys that made Sims. Visceral obviously made Dead Space. They're probably the two big ones that I think of straight away. I think when I think who they've murdered, but there has been a ton. Games that have been studios that have been picked up, purchased, and fucking murdered.
So obviously, I had this conversation with a friend of the show last night, and the big game that I'm looking forward to hearing about coming out of Warner Bros. Gaming is the new Harry Potter game. And I'm like, I made the joke of if EA acquire Warner Bros. Games, I'm gonna have to pay a tuition fee to go to Hogwarts, and I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, now you go to Diagon Alley, and it's like, do you want a new wand? That's X amount of galleons purchased in the Microsoft store. Yeah, but it's like, fuck. You microtransactioning your wands and your owls, and
they sign me up for a subscription for their wizard post, and then I have to pay it every month to get in-game notifications.
Yeah, that's true. That's horrible. Nah. And you have to pay. To go to the Tri-Wizard tournament and the Quidditch World Cup.
Part of me is like, EA have the money to back it, to make it, to give it the funds, but they also don't show the love and care for their IPs. As we've seen in the likes of the Star Wars games, how many have been cancelled that we never got to see the light of day, and I don't know. But
the difficulty is that everyone that's been sniffing around, you can say the exact same thing about. The same can be said for Activision. They don't treat their IP nicely at all. If anything, they annualize it and they pull it for microtransactions. And then Take-Two are in a similar boat, although they show more respect in some ways. They're also, if you look at their NBA series, like with 2K, they're also full of microtransactions. So whoever has the money, because the issue here is money, right? Whoever has the money to buy these studios, it has to be one of these third-party publishers. There is no way that you're going to get Microsoft or PlayStation to buy these, because it's a big investment. It's a lot of studios, and these are studios that exclusivity is not ideal. It would be awesome, but it's not ideal. And when you're dealing with the likes of Activision, EA, and Take-Two, they're a gaming business. They're all about how much money they can get. Like when you look at Microsoft or Sony in terms of their exclusives, they do try to especially more on PlayStation, I guess, try to put more love and care in their exclusive first party games, because apart from they need to sell their consoles, there's just a bit more love and a bit more effort in there. Where when you're a business, everyone's a business, but when you're a business and you're a publisher and it's all about bringing more dollars in on your per financial year for the stockholders, you're going to get the same result out of all of them. The Reverend Puck gives us the list of all the studios that EA has brought down. That includes Massive, Mythic, Westwood, the original Origin, Bullfrog, Black Box, Pandemic, Playfish, and their own EA Big. It's a lot.
Such a huge body count.
But on top of that, though, like I think Rocksteady's got a pedigree that even if EA were to pick it up, I think Rocksteady could survive. Same as NetherRealms. And no one else quite does it like NetherRealms, especially with Mortal Kombat under their belt. TT, the guys that do all the Lego games, they're probably at most risk, because I think anyone can probably do those Lego games.
I must admit, NetherRealm are like the king of fighting games at this point.
Yeah, because they've got such a legacy behind them. I don't see them sort of getting caught up in that little bit of middle ground.
Let's talk some Ubisoft, Ryan. Mm-hmm. So, Splinter Cell is finally making its triumphant return to our screens. But... However, Ubisoft has partnered with Netflix to produce an original animated Splinter Cell show. So, Derek Kolstad is on board as writer and executive producer.
It's the writer writer for John Wick.
Yep, Kolstad is known for writing the John Wick movies. The series will run for 16 episodes spanning 2 seasons. Is this what we wanted?
I don't know.
I wanted another game. I don't know if I wanted an anime series.
Well, their treatment of Sam Fisher is questionable at best. Like, he gets thrown into a bunch of games. He's in Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint. He's in some like Battle Royale thing that they made for mobile devices. Like, when people said we want more Splinter Cell, this is not what they wanted.
Well, see, I think when people say we want more Splinter Cell, they want the Splinter Cell style of game. They don't necessarily want Sam Fisher.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe. Personally, I like the Splinter Cell games. I'm not so invested in the character itself.
The issue that we have, excuse me, it's been so long since Splinter Cell has been a thing. Those 3 green dots mean nothing to the average gamer now. Like any of the longer tenured gamers, probably in a different space. But the average person, they're like, I don't get it. So when they did that reveal for like having it been in Ghost Recon, having it been in Breakpoint, it's just like, okay, just 3 green dots. I don't get it. It's a big shame. Big shame.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, hopefully the people who are fans of this series, Derek Kolstad is a fantastic writer. I'm sure the anime series is going to be great. And I really hope
even from an action standpoint, if it's written, like, because John Wick's full of awesome action, if he writes the same level of action here, that it's going to be great.
Yeah, so hopefully hopefully the people who are fans of this series get something out of this. I mean, it's probably definitely not what they wanted, but it's better than nothing, I guess.
That's true. Same can be said for another upcoming game called Avengers. Marvel's The Avengers. So at a war table presentation thingy, Square Enix announced a bit more around Marvel's Avengers. There will be, of course, a big closed and open beta. So if you pre-order the game, you'll have access to the beta as of the 7th of August until the 9th. So that's next weekend, or this coming weekend, I should say. With the open beta kicking off on the week after. It's from the 14th through to the 16th, and then once again following on the 21st to the 23rd. So if you pre-order the game, that's 3 different weekends of beta, and the beta looks amazing. So in terms of being content rich, so you've got the Golden Gate Bridge demo, which is what I've played at PAX last year, which we'll talk about in just a moment. There's obviously a run of single player missions like the Warzone, and it was one of them. Then there's a bunch of co-op missions as well, and harm rooms, which are essentially their wave mode training sim sort of setups. There looks to be a minimum of at least like 4 or 5 hours in this, and that's excluding how many times you do it, how many times you run it with friends or run it by yourself.
Plus, I think it's 4 playable characters.
Yeah, so you'll be playing as Hulk, Black Widow, the Marvel characters' name I've forgotten, and Iron Man.
They also announced, I forgot to put this in.
Kamala Khan. Yeah, Kamala Khan.
Yeah. And they also announced that Hawkeye will be post-launch DLC.
Yeah, so, which is like, that's awesome because he's rocking the purple, so shout out to him for, PopC represent. What up? Thanks, Hawkeye.
And possibly the other biggest news is if you take part in this open beta, you get Hulk fists in Fortnite.
Oh. So I reached out to Square Enix. We should be getting a code as well, but I'm actually so excited. I went and pre-ordered it myself because I'm like, I want to play this, and I want to play this so bad. Because you were really looking forward to playing this with James, weren't you? Yeah, because my son, he loves Marvel. Like he really loves the Hulk. He really loves Iron Man, Captain America. So like this could be something that we could play together. Now obviously it may be too complex for him to play, but at least we could play it together. Saying that though, he was playing Spider-Man last week and smashed it. So maybe he might be ready come September. But yeah, having gone hands-on with this at PAX, where I literally did the Golden Gate Bridge demo, the demo is brilliant. It really showcases all of the 5 characters, with the key characters in this case, which were, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Black Widow. So they each get their moment of little gameplay test, and then you back end it with a boss battle with Taskmaster. So, for those that may not have seen this or are yet to play it, each of the characters do play differently. Obviously, Iron Man is very ranged with a lot of airborne stuff, which makes sense for his character, but he's also pretty effective on the ground. So you would consider him more of a controller of a battlefield, I guess, right? He'd stand back and sort of do what he needs to do. Captain America plays very much like Arkham, so he would be one of your DPS sort of characters. You sort of head in to a lot of a lot of a quicker damage per second, as it stands for. Hulk is your tank. He comes in, can take a big old shit kick in, and then but he can also deliver some gnarly damage. So a lot of jumping slams, which was great. And he has his own sort of own way of traversal. Thor seems to be somewhere in the middle. He can do a lot of big slams with Mjolnir and all those sort of moves. He looks really cool. It's fun to play as Thor. Just like whonging people across the bridges. Oh, it was so good. Where Black Widow is probably very similar to Captain America, but obviously maybe not quite as powerful. She's a bit faster, so you get a lot more strikes in a shorter period of time. And at the end of the demo, she's the one that you fight Taskmaster with. Taskmaster. I really enjoyed the demo at PAX. It was the first thing I played on the Friday. Like I knew it was there. I know it was a Saturday. Whichever it was, I went in there. I'm like, I'm lined up to play you straight away. And each character does feel uniquely different with like some blending, but you can really get the sense and feeling of how each of these characters will play a role in an overall team. So in the harm rooms, when they talk about in this war table about how the importance of each individual person playing their part, and I like that a lot. I think that's a very cool concept. So I will 100% be playing it next weekend. Max, you've been doing the same. If you're watching it at home and you want to join Max and I as we play, hit us up. Okay, and we'll do some Avengers bussing. From what you saw, Max, as I've frozen once again, Max, from what you saw, what you've heard, what do you think? How you feeling?
I'm very much looking forward to playing it. Obviously, I haven't had the same chance to get hands on with it yet. So I'm really looking forward to it. From what I've heard, it was half the people I've heard have said it's kind of average, and the other half are like it's really good. So I'm just gonna have to wait and see until I get hands on. I think I'm really liking I'm hoping that with this whole everyone needs to play their role, I'm hoping to find a really good team to squad up with. Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping as well. Like I remember I became a little less excited on it when I heard it was going to be a games of service, with the idea of this sort of ongoing thing where everyone is, if you don't play for a while, you kind of fucked sort of thing. That did turn me off. But I think the appeal of it being the Avengers might be enough to keep people coming back. And then if they start bringing in new characters like Kamala Khan, like Hawkeye, and they keep bringing in cool villains, because that's one thing about Marvel. The Marvel roster is absolutely fantastic. It is huge. It is diverse. And then obviously they may not be able to do like Spider-Man right now, because obviously he's in different IP, but maybe they could bring some X-Men shit in, because, as I said, right now, I've been painting my Marvel minis. I'm all hard. I'm excited for Marvel in general. They just announced X-Men minis. Ha! 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 I'm excited.
Gonna get a big old Galactus.
Oh god! Oh yeah. So so in the trailer, they talk about Abomination's going to be involved, and MODOK is in this game as well. So they're pulling from some interesting villains here. So it's not like Thanos, which Thanos could happen. Thanos could be a big event. Galactus could be a big event. You know what I mean? The potential for these big fuck off villains is cool. Like to create a bit of DLC or some event.
No, I'm very much looking forward to it, and the fact that they're giving us 3 weekends worth of betas, it'll be interesting to see how much gets changed between them, or if we're just going to be playing the same build each time.
With it coming out early September, I'm pretty confident that what we see here will likely be what's on release. Like, there's not enough. Like, if anything, they might tweak some things, like buff, debuff some things, or whatever needs to be done. But
anything that can be hot fixed as opposed to.
There's no long-term fixes here. So when they say it's a beta, it is essentially a demo. It is an online playable demo that they can stress test servers. They can see how characters interact, but or how people play these characters and what they can interchange. And as you said, hotfix, like what can be shuffled around. Like there's not going to be massive visual improvements.
They'll change some numbers and
I imagine there will be a visual improvement from what I played at PAX, because that was in October of last year. I imagine a lot's been done between now and then. So I'm excited to see what the visual difference is. But from beta, especially when the beta goes up into like the 24th, like that's a week and a half from release. Like they cannot push big updates in that time. It's unreasonable. Speaking of games you were more excited about.
Speaking of big updates, Activision and FromSoft have given us some new information on Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. They stated that they sold over more than 5 million copies in a new press release.
Oh, damn.
And the game is also set to receive a major update. Firstly, this update will grant the ability to battle bosses you've previously defeated. This will be accessible via the Sculptor's Idols. Referred to as Reflections of Strength, they are single fights against any boss you have already beat. While the Gauntlet of Strength will pitch you against a string of bosses in a row, essentially a boss rush. That is the worst thing I could possibly think of doing in a FromSoft game, is doing a boss rush. That would be horrible.
Well, I'm a dumpster at these games, so I have no interest at all.
They're also adding 3 unlockable cosmetic skins. You can earn these by simply beating the game, while the other 2 are tied to the previously mentioned gauntlets. And lastly, the update will bring some limited online functionality. Remnants are recordings of your own actions that last 30 seconds, which you can send to other players with the option to add messages. Quote, share strategies and hints via a network to broaden the scope of play, reads the official description. So similar to like the blood echoes you get in the Souls games, where it shows how a character died. Shows a short you can possibly record something and send it to your friend and we're like, hey, this is a little hint to get past this next bit. So that's pretty cool.
Is this update enough to get you back into it, Max?
Yeah, I'll probably dive back in, try my hand at a few boss rushes, because, why not? See how far I can get. Test the old reaction speed. Yeah.
We'll have to find a way to get you with the PopC layouts, or the PopC Twitch accounts. Maybe you can go on there and put some of your Sekiro run on there, and just people can watch you get mushed.
Oh, yeah. Definitely happen.
Next up, people are getting CyberPunk'd. That's right. That's in memory of the not so late Ashton Kutcher, because I don't think he's dead. Over the last few weeks or so, there has been an increasing number of reports that people are receiving Cyberpunk 2077 beta invitations via email. However, Max, there is no beta. These invitations are entirely fake, and CD Projekt Red has had to step forward once again to reiterate the fact. quote, if you are receiving an email claiming to be granting you beta access to Cyberpunk 2077, it is not from us. Unfortunately, there have been more of these being sent over the past few weeks. When we contact you via email, it will always come from @cdprojectred.com address, reads the developer's latest warning. So if you do get an email about a Cyberpunk beta, don't click on it because motherfucker's probably a virus.
They've just targeted all the people who bought Cyberpunk Xbox consoles. They're like, these
or
guys
merch,
are
or like the chair, like you bought that Cyberpunk chair.
I'm so keen.
What,
so
for a virus or
for my chair?
So keen for that beta invite. I'm gonna press it so hard.
Yeah, it baffles me that people still don't be like, maybe this isn't a thing.
Yeah, like you'd think they'd at least be like, I'm just going to quickly do a bit of a Google search, like check some reliable
or at least
sources.
check the email address that it's coming from. Be like, it's sent from like something dot something
at
random
gmail.com, you know?
Yeah.
Like Cyberpunk rules with a Z at gmail.com. Like, no, don't believe that guy.
It's literally you got cyberpunked at gmail.com.
I hope this thumbnail turns out well because that's the title of the episode. So I'm gonna have fun with that Cyberpunk.
Some quick bits. Ubisoft's new battle royale Hyperscape is coming to PlayStation 4 on the 11th of August.
It looks pretty sweet.
I've played one game on PC and
Did it do it for you?
I was real bad. It's so much faster paced than all the other ones. I just wasn't expecting it. The PlayStation Plus games this month: Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, the campaign, and Fall Guys. I'm so excited!
What
for
a
Fall
month!
Guys.
Like it really ticks a couple different boxes there.
So Fall Guys are pulling a Psyonix with Rocket League, and they're releasing their game straight to PlayStation Plus for free. And I reckon it's going to be a hit. It's
going to smash. So, like, although we didn't jump in on the beta, once I heard it was coming to PS Plus, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to reach out for the Steam beta. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold it out. So this is amazing. Because the game looks cool. It's like it's currently a battle royale, but also not really. It's more of a battle royale. It's elimination.
Racer. It's a battle royale racer.
Yeah, it's like King of the Hill elimination sort of setup, right? Yeah, it's all about so cool. Last man standing. Is not King of the Hill. Last man standing.
From the videos I've seen, it kind of reminds me of like the Wipeout TV.
Yeah, it looks like all those sort of like crazy Japanese game shows where it's like, you know, like, you have to
Takashi Castle. And
yeah.
All that stuff, yeah.
I love it. It looks absolutely amazing. I'm very keen to check that out. But, you know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is available right now as part of PS Plus. You can go download that mother liquor right now. But Fall Guys comes in a couple of days. The 4th, I think. So a couple of days from recording, which is very...
Yeah, it's generally the first Tuesday of the month is when they roll over.
Yeah, so we'll no doubt be playing some of that next week. Once again, if you want to join us, let us know. Hit us up.
As you mentioned earlier, Cuphead is now available on the PlayStation 4. And I've got one more quick bit to add in. I don't know how quick it's going to be, but going back to some Ubisoft news, I was really upset when the news broke about the King Arthur game being cancelled before it even got anywhere.
Fill me in, Max. Fill me in.
So basically, the guy who was the ultimate green light at Ubisoft, who is no longer with them, basically went, nah, doesn't sound good.
The guy that's now sacked, by the way.
Yeah. But, you know, a lot of people that have been working on it were like, you know, we put a lot of time and effort into this. We thought it was going to be fantastic. I'm a huge sucker for Arthurian legend stuff, and having a game based on that would have been sweet. I wish no one broke this news, so I didn't know that it ever existed.
If you didn't know it existed, you wouldn't be hurting. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's such a shame, and it makes so much sense now why all Ubisoft games are the same, because they had one guy, yay or naying all of their games.
Yeah, and he would have been like, "I don't make money. Women don't make money. Fuck this guy. I'm glad he's fucking gone. What a piece of shit."
Yeah, I know, right? And then we have your segment of the top 10. There's no more quick bits, guys. Sorry. Very quick bits.
Very quick bits. Very quiet week. But now it's time for the top 10 best-selling PS4 games for the week ending 26 July 2020. Coming in at number 10, Need for Speed Heat. Number 9, Far Cry 5. Number 8, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Number 7, The Last of Us Remastered. Number 6, FIFA 20. Number 5, The Rainbow Six Siege. That's jumped back out of nowhere. Must be a new update.
I think there's new operators out.
Nice. Number 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 3, The Last of Us Part 2. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, which also has a new update coming up soon. Probably a lot of pickups and is currently on sale with that winter sale still going, by the way. And number 1, unexpectedly, Ghost of Tsushima. The game's still going.
Have you seen some of the screenshots people are posting for that the PlayStation competition?
Yes, the PlayStation Australia are currently holding a competition for a screenshot photo mode competition. There is some remarkable photos in that.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I was like, oh, maybe I can enter. I'll take a look. I had a look at some of the photos I did. And I'm like, okay. Pulled up the Twitter thread and I went,
mine are garbage.
I'm like, you know what? This is somebody else's. I forfeit.
Yeah, it's like that sometimes, isn't it?
Like,
I took a
skills.
nice one of like me shanking someone in the neck as I've assassinated them. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then it's all dark in the background. I was like, everyone's screenshots have like these beautiful light particle effects,
like
and
vibrant,
flowing in the background. It's all vibrant, and I've just got me standing over a guy with a knife in his neck. It's all dark.
Yeah, I recommend you go check it out. There is a lot of awesome,
there's so many good
photos in there.
It's worth looking at.
Anyways, I don't think we have a main topic today, Max. It's just all news.
Yeah. And there wasn't much either.
No, it's because I deep dived so hard on SkaterXL at the start of the show. We kind of like front-ended it. Oops.
Well, actually, there is one thing that I can add to the quick bits, I guess, mentioning SkaterXL. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 classic soundtrack has gotten like an extra 30-something.
Yeah, another 37 artists. So there's a collection of like the original soundtrack artists, so like your Power Man 5000, Goldfinger, Rage Against the Machine, stuff like that. But they're also bringing in a bunch of new artists, including some Aussies. This is awesome. Because one of the greatest things about Tony Hawk, especially when you're growing up, it really became a gateway for many people to see new music, especially in like the punk and the metal like heavier scene, right? Like especially right now where those genres of music aren't very popular. So there's a lot of hip hop in Tony Hawk as well. So if you're someone that wants new punk, new hip hop, new metal, like it's the place to go. Like especially back in the day. So like now, we're gonna get the ones we love. Like I'm gonna hear, Blood Brothers by Papa Roach again. I'm gonna be like, hear Guerrilla Radio, like all these awesome songs that come over here, And then now I'm gonna be exposed to a bunch of new artists because I'm old and I don't listen to new artists unless I have to. So this is great. I'm absolutely excited. So the musical roster here is insane.
Yeah. So that was good news. It's nice to see them because I think they said they couldn't get the entirety of the original soundtrack.
Yeah, the licensing was a bit rough. Yeah,
but seeing them add, much like they're doing with the new skaters and the old skaters, they're combining the old with the new. So getting new talent in to pump up those numbers. I'm looking for it.
But it's not even a bad thing. It's like what they're doing is genuinely a good remaster.
And I believe that the warehouse demo goes live this month for anyone who's pre-ordered Tony Hawk.
Oh, I need to get me on that. But no, like that's absolutely amazing. It's because that is what a good remaster should do. It is the old with the new, and what they are demonstrating that here with this new soundtrack. It's like, here's what you love with a new coat. And like that's what the game is what you love, but it looks different. It's been reworked. Here's the music that you loved, but there's new artists you should probably go check out. Like that's perfect. That's absolutely the synergy of those two is amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have a drop this week, Max?
Probably not.
Did you have a squiz?
I didn't even look because there hasn't been one for like 5 weeks.
Well, if there's not, we'll pull up VG 24/7 again and we'll have a bit of a squiz over there. But no, I'm super excited, man. Like, because my music tastes haven't really changed, like, ever. So, like, if I, more Papa Roach, more Rage, love it. Get me excited.
So, surprising no one, there is no drop.
Oh, so how expected.
Let's pull up VG. What are we in? August.
So the first week of August.
The first week of August. We have Scully coming August 4th.
I heard about that. I got an email about that. Looked interesting.
We have Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout coming August 4th as well. So that'll be our PlayStation Plus release date.
It's like $30 everywhere else, I think. But
we have Spitlings August 4th. Didn't this get... Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Oh my god, I totally forgot that was coming.
Didn't that get delayed, or is it still August?
Or did it get delayed to August?
I don't. Apparently, it's coming out August 7th. Fast and Furious. I can't believe it's not Vin Diesel.
VJ 24/7 are awesome. Like they're normally up to date on these things.
Well, yeah, they've got Hyperscape listed as August 11th for PlayStation 4. So yeah, I'm gonna go with. This week, we can get Fast and Furious Crossroads.
That looks so bad. I wonder if I hope it's still horrible.
I hope it's still horrible, he says.
I'm not going to play it, but it's fun to see it be bad.
And I guess for those interested, it's semi-PlayStation related. Horizon Zero Dawn's coming to PC this week.
Yeah, so Dash has been playing that last couple of days, so be sure to go check out dashgamer.com if you want a PC review of Horizon. I myself was going to play it on PC, but then I realized my PS4 Pro is in fact probably more powerful than my computer, according to the specs needed to play it on PC. So, I'm not playing it on the PC.
I might.
Max has a computer that's better, so he might be able to do that.
I might check that. But yeah, not much. I guess the big one this week is it's obviously Fall Guys.
Yeah, Fall Guys.
It's clearly Fall Guys is the big one this week.
Yeah, having it through PS Plus makes such a guaranteed server load. It's going to be awesome. Like you'll have you're not going to have issue finding game anyway because the game looks to be amazing. But then like you jump on day one, it's going to be loaded because it's free. No complaints from me. No complaints at all.
No, it's yeah, I was really excited when I saw that it was coming to PlayStation Plus. I thought that was a great move.
Anyways, that does bring us to the end of the show. Max, bring this bad boy home.
So this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on Spotify. No, let me start that again. That's horrible, guys. My bad. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations, check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, Twitter. All our links are in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures where you can watch us record this show live. If you want to support the show, you can by going over to your podcast service of choice, giving us a 5-star rating and written review, or if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. It's all good. And also, tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. You can also support us financially at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and assorted shit with our logos on it. Big thank you to everyone for joining us once again. Thank you, Max, as always. Hope you all safe, healthy, and well, and surviving in this fucked up time. Because, shit's fucked, man. It's horrid. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players. For the Players, the Pop Culturist PlayStation podcast is fan-supported at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damien Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.